Yeah, is
Oh,
our week?
animal.
Oh my gosh, oh, no pressure. All right, you should be good. Once it says it's live, you're good.
Oh
All
my God,
righty.
millions of people are watching you.
I love it. I love it. Well, Grand Rising, everybody. How we doing?
Doing amazing.
Doing
Thank you,
good.
Dan. I forgot people are muted. I just can't just be talking to each other like that. So it's all right. So I don't have a super fancy presentation for you all because I don't present to people when I go on prospect. So that's what we're going to talk about today is prospecting. Okay. Um, might not take the whole 15 minutes to do or 10 minutes to do it just because it doesn't really take that long to prospect, to be honest with you. Um, so how I prospect, I guess I'll start with that is I just like talking to people and I just like to see who people are. And once people see, if I feel like that person actually wants to have a conversation with me, I know they would want to have another conversation with me. So I get their number. So that way we can have another conversation. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the business, that second conversation, but that's honestly how my most of my prospecting gets. It's never really about the business. Probably like a quarter of the time it's me actually getting the number to actually prospect them to the business. Otherwise, it's just it was a cool person I found, or majority of the time when I get numbers and stuff like that, it's actually on my way to go prospect, which is the craziest thing ever. So I would say if you're going out to prospect, stop somewhere else first before you go, and you'd be probably surprised how many like people you actually get names and numbers for. Um, and then I would say how I talk to the people. Again, everybody's different depending on if they're working or if it's just some customer or just walking somewhere, wherever it may be. First things first is identifying something on them that may seem kind of cool or just seeing what they might be doing if they're engaged in something or if they're like playing with their kids or maybe their kids are playing with my nieces or my nephew. That's the best time to prospect when kids are playing with any kids that you have around as well, because now you get to talk to the parent while the kids are playing and you have like a kind of a legit reason to be talking to them. Not really saying you have to have a reason to talk to people. Don't Another thing is too, I know we were taught growing up a lot in our like it was bashed in our heads, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. You don't talk to strangers, you never make friends. Everybody you meet for the first time was a stranger. When even if they might have been related to you, you met a cousin for the first time, they were a stranger. Sure, your parents want to tell you not to talk to them though, right? So it seems like it's all kind of what's the word I'm trying to look for? Relative to the situation. So with that being said, go talk to all the strangers because after you talk to them, they don't become strangers no more. As soon as you start talking to them and start telling them a little about yourself and they tell you a little about themselves, they're no longer a stranger. So you don't have to feel uncomfortable talking to them. You just legit took them from your cold market to your warm market just by having a conversation with them. So when people are talking about having to go into the cold market, yeah, you're in the cold market for like 2 seconds until you say hello to somebody. Now it's nice and warm and fuzzy. So just keep that in mind when you are out here talking with people. Um, I don't really know. I guess that's the part. Then I guess I'm struggling here. Is like to say exactly what I say to people because it's never the same thing. Legit, never the same thing. I don't have a simple script or play that I run to talk to people. I love interactions. I might bump into somebody on accidentally on purpose. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. I mean, oh man, those are the nice shoes you got on there. Like, where'd you get those from? um, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but hey, I still get the name and the number. So more or less, be yourself first and foremost. Don't try to act like somebody else. Don't try to act all super businessy and proper. If you don't talk all proper, don't fake it because people are going to see right through that, especially once you start having conversations with them. They're going to see you're really not the part that you're trying to be. So be yourself and be genuine about it and say, hey, like this is what I'm also doing. Again, if you're not, you don't have to always tell them that you're just as successful as Dan in order for people to be interested in the business. But you can say you have somebody like Dan who is teaching you to be like him or to be better than him in the business. And more or less, if it does get that far, more or less, just talking about the vision of why you're doing what you're doing. And even still with that, keeping that as short and sweet as possible because of that whole curiosity effect, not to hide anything, but to make people want to keep talking to you. I don't know if you all have been listening to that Skills with People by Les Giblin. I actually listen to it every morning when I'm doing sending out my messages and my friend requests. And it's crazy how many things that I never really noticed I was already doing, um, but some things that I wasn't doing as well. So one of those big things is when you're talking to somebody, when they give you their name, say their name back to them as much as possible because that really tells them that you're paying attention to them and that you truly care about what they got to say because you took the time to remember the name. Because how many times has somebody told you their name and you forget it like 2 minutes later and you're like, oh, what was your name again? I'm really bad at that. So I heard something, it wasn't even in that book, but somebody was saying basically saying somebody's name at least like 3 different times in a conversation will help you remember the name a lot more, or asking them questions about their name helps you remember the name better as well. So I mean, Brian, I don't know what Brian means, but you, oh, where does Brian come from? Like, was that like a late uncle, or like, how did you get your name? They start telling you a background about their name, then it's a lot easier again to remember their story. And then two, just kind of making it your urgency, like having a sense of urgency. Don't make it seem like you can't sit there and talk all day, because guess what they're gonna do? Sit there and probably try to talk to you all day, get everybody information about your business out of you. So hey, no, I don't got that much time. I apologize, but I would love to connect with you a little bit later. Here, let me get your phone number real quick, or let me see your phone quick. Let me see your number and shoot me a call or send me a text so I can have you locked in, and I get back to you or whatever. Or let's try to go hang out sometime this weekend. I ain't gonna lie, some of these people I really don't want to hang out with, but I will. Don't get me wrong, I will hang out with them. But some of the times, like, I really don't care to, but I want to get to know them a little bit more. And it's usually those people who I'd rather have in the business, because I see they probably like not really caring for like their job, and I know the relationship will come after the fact of that. But at the same time, I still try to build that relationship up first, which sometimes gets in the way. And sometimes that's also my problem, is building a relationship too much and not really bringing the business into play. So that's another thing you got to be mindful as well. It's just knowing what you're going to do. If you're going to go prospect, go prospect. Like I said, stop somewhere early, like make one stop beforehand, and then just go do something random in that place and try to get a name and number beforehand, and then see how many names and numbers you get after that. It's going to like be the spark to a freaking wildfire. But yeah, so Dan, if there's anything else you'd like me to add to that, I don't really know how to keep expanding this to go a little bit longer. So
Yeah, no, you're good. So guys, that's what he's talking about. Basically, I mean, I don't know if you caught it, but he's basically just talking to everybody. Like everywhere he goes, he's just talking to people. And that's the easiest way to prospect, is to just talk to people. like you don't really, you don't need to go out and intentionally go prospecting. Like you don't need to do that. Like there doesn't need to be like, hey, I'm going to go to the mall and get 7 names and numbers, or I'm going to go to Meijer and get 5 or Walmart or whatever and get 5. Like that's just not, in my opinion, that's not an effective use of your time. But what I would say to do is, when you're going to Walmart, stop at the gas station and put $5 in your tank and talk to the clerk, and go when you're at Walmart, like make it intentional to run it, not run into, like don't bump your shopping cart into people and be like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. By the way, do you keep your options open? Like that's weird. But just talk to people. Look like you're working hard, look frustrated. Like, do you keep your options open? And you just ask them questions about what they're doing and if they keep options open. And it doesn't need to be this elaborate scripted thing, right? It's very straightforward. So, hey, do you keep your options open, or do you love working here? Do you plan to work here forever? Well, I keep my options open. Okay, great. Let me get your name and number. I run an insurance and investment business. I'd love to talk and see if you're a good fit. If you're not comfortable saying that yet, hey, I run or I work with a guy that's in charge of hiring an expansion for a financial services company. I'd love to get your information and pass it along to them and see if you're a good fit. And then what I always say, like Elian said, here, text me so I can get your number. I always say, here, let me text you so you have my number. Because if I say, here, I'll text you so you have my number, what do you need to text them? You need their number to text them, right? You guys are y'all okay? Everybody all right this morning?
I thought I was on mute when I said the number.
Yeah, you need their phone number to text them. So anytime someone's like talking to me, I'm like, hey, let me text you so you have my number. I'd love to connect. I'd love to continue this conversation. I'm on the run right now, but I'll get your contact info. We'll connect. And then I text them my number. It's really not hard. Like, just don't overthink it, right? So anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful for you this morning with prospecting, guys. That is the first and most important thing that you need to have when you're building your business, is the ability to meet new people. Right? You need to meet new people. You need to get new contact information as you're going about your day-to-day life, because that is where over time you're going to find a network of people. All right. So, hey, I'm going to share the docs real quick, and we'll go over the docs for those of you that are on the docs, and then everybody else, you're good to go. If you guys want to hop off, we'll do our accountability really quick once I get it pulled up. All right, so it's sharing, so bear with me. My computer, the internet here is not the best, but it still works. All right, so. Whoa, that went way too far. Hang on. Give me a break. There we go. Okay, so 40. Today I have 3 orientations and a follow-up kitchen table. Karen, at 18, what do you have today?
4 recruit appointments and 1 carryback.
Four,
Follow-up.
4 recruits and 1 carryback.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And let's see, Cass, 11. You there? You're muted, Cass, if you said something, I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at my calendar. I have 1 carryback, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 financial needs analysis, 1 recruit appointment, and 1 KT.
Okay. I'm gonna add to this call when we're done about the FNA, okay? So remind me in 2 minutes. Josh, 10.
I've got a carryback that turned into a kitchen table. It's supposed to be an IB and a life app tonight at 6, and then I've got an interview at 7.
Alrighty. Ellie, an 8.
So as of right now, I have a KT at noon, and then I have a recruit at 2.
Nice, and then get out of here. Sorry, Spider-Man is over here.
So
Stop. And then Jenna, 2.
I have 4 appointments, 2 being KTs, 2 being recruits.
All right. Hey, in the license chat, Jenna, I put a video of how to fill out the docs. Okay.
Okay.
Watch that, and let's make sure we're getting this filled out like the night before. And Cass can
Okay.
help you with that as well if you need help. Okay. Angie, I know
Alright.
you're at the hospital today. What do you have anything right now today? I don't know if she's still on, but okay. All right, cool. So the only thing, Cass, you have a bunch of FNAs today, right? So this goes for anyone if you're running FNAs, if you guys are running financial needs analysis appointments, you should be getting you should be closing business on them, and you should be getting referrals. Like you should not be doing an FNA if they don't have referrals for you, because that is the payment for it.
3 of them are teammates FNAs. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's fine. Just in general, like when we're running the KT and we're setting up the FNA, and even with the teammates, honestly, like even with like your new people, it's like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you. It's free. I do want you to see what we're doing, but at the same time, like this is how we build your business. So like we need like 2 or 3 referrals off this. So make sure you guys are getting referrals on that, because you're gonna show them something that's gonna give them a lot of value. And we have to be getting, like, you have to get referrals. If you don't, Cassie, you might feel like I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about you specifically right now, just in general. A lot of you guys run FNAs for your new recruits, so there's nothing wrong with doing that. Just make sure you're getting the referral, and you're telling them like, hey, I don't do financial needs analysis appointments without 3 to 4 referrals. So like, I need you to send me over 3 or 4 referrals of people that would benefit from having the same conversation as your payment for doing this. Right. And like, look, and the other thing is too, if we do a financial needs analysis, if like Josh, like I know Josh and Cassie, you guys both do a lot of FNAs. So like, if I'm meeting with somebody for an FNA, like I'm setting the stage 5 or 6 different times, because I know I'm going to put them in a better position. I'm say, hey, if I can put you in a better position, save you money around the house, get you properly protected, make sure you're like, put you in retirement earlier, get you out of debt faster. If I can do those things for you, would you be able to make that decision to move forward with us? Because I'm doing this for free, and if I can put you in a better position, one of the 3 things I ask you is that you would move forward, you would do business with me. If they say no, then I'll be like, okay, then what's the point? Why are we doing this? And ask them straight up, like, don't waste your time. I'm not saying you're wasting your time doing an FNA, What I am saying though is if they're not willing to move forward with you after you put them in a better position, why are you even doing it? Right? Why do they want you to do it? Should be the question I'm actually asking, not why are you doing it? I know why you're doing it, but why do they want you to do it if they're not going to move over after you save them money? Right? So just make sure you guys are setting the stage for the financial needs analysis. And so this is how I would do it. I'm going to give you guys like 2 sentences, 2 things that I would tell people. Number 1, hey, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a way that I'm going to save you money. I'm going to get you retired quicker. I'm going to help you be able to get out of debt faster and protect your family properly for less money. If I can do that, I would trust that you would move over. Is that fair? Yes. Okay, awesome. The other thing is this doesn't cost anything. Josh loves to say, hey, this costs $1,500 for you to go to Edward Jones and do this, right? He always Googles it. And so, hey, look, we're doing this for free. The only payment that we ask for is 3 to 4 qualified referrals and introductions to those referrals. So I'm going to do this for free for you, and you're going to have 3 to 5 referrals after we're done. Is that fair? And then you get your referrals, and then you call the referrals. Like at the end of the day, like because you guys are both Josh, both you and Cass are full time. So like both of you guys, or well, Josh, you will be full time. Cass, you are full time. Like you need to pay your bills. So you need to get in front of people, and to get in front of people, you need to get referrals so you can continue moving without your people that aren't doing anything. So anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. I love you guys. Hey, we have training tonight at 7 o'clock. So we got team training tonight at 7 p.m. Make sure your team is on. Call your people. I'm also going to tell you guys, last week, I called all of our new recruits and I asked them all, hey, did anybody else contact you about training tonight? And about 25% of them said yes. So that number needs to change. We got to be calling our people. We got to be getting our people on meetings. And yes, Cassie, please stop working for free. For the love of all things that are holy, please stop working for free. Ask people, like, set the stage. What?
How does that meeting?
Taylor said, how do I call my team? Great question, Taylor. Hey, Josh, it's Dan. How are you? I'm good. And they're like, who's Dan? I'm your regional vice president, right? Your people that you recruited will know who you are, but they don't know who me are. Who me are. They don't know who me are most of the time. They don't know who I am most of the time. But at least the first, like in the first week. But anyway, so hey, Josh, it's Dan. I'm your regional vice president with Primerica. Or let's say I recruited Josh. That might be a better one. Hey, Josh, it's Dan. Hope you're doing good, man. Hey, I just wanted to remind you about training tonight. We're gonna have trainings on how people. Guys, listen. Here's the 2 things that we're doing tonight.
Not the call.
Right, this is not the call, but this is the 2 things that we're doing at training tonight, the big ones.
Right now,
Number 1, Cassie's going to teach about how to win the future jersey,
because you just won it.
because she won the future jersey. That's a big freaking deal. Okay, now, and then outside of that, there are 3 people from our team that made $1,000 in the last couple of weeks that are going to be teaching as well. So if you want to learn how to make a grand part-time, that is another reason why you're going to want to be on there. So when I'm calling them, I'll be like, hey, Jenna, it's Dan. Hope you're doing great. Listen, I only got a couple minutes. Just wanted to remind you about training tonight at 7 o'clock. So I'm calling you, training at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Can't wait to see you there. It's going to be amazing. Hey, listen, they're going to be teaching about how to win the future, which gives you a bonus. After you're an RVP, you're going to have more money that you're going to be able to make. And there's going to be people that are below regional vice president part-time, made $1,000 in a week, and they're going to teach you exactly what they did. All right. So Jenna, I trust you're going to be on at 7 o'clock tonight. I'll send you the link. I'll see you there. Not like, hey, what's the reason you can't make it? Like, I'm just calling to see if you're able to, if it's convenient, can you get on training? No, you're not asking them for convenience to get on training. You're asking them, you're telling them the meeting is at 7, and they gave you, because on your orientation, you should have got a 90-day commitment from them to plug into meetings, right? So, hey, I know you said you'd be on every training, so I was just calling to remind you tonight about training at 7 o'clock. I'll see you there. All right. So guys, we need to be really focused on meeting attendance right now. Like our team is like, we had kind of a false peak of growth there for a minute because we had big production, but our meeting attendance dropped. So when your production goes up and your meeting attendance goes down, your team is not growing. Right. It's literally, it's like the book that we're reading. Actually, it's a perfect example of that. Like, it's like it gets cut off at the source, but it still grows for a little while because those people are still excited, but we're not plugging them into training and getting them trained. So we have to get our team on training tonight, guys. We should have 50 people on trainings. with how many, I mean, at least, with how many people we're recruiting, we should have at least 50 people on trainings. What's up, Cass?
Just for all the green people out there, there's an app called Alora, and it lets you track attendance. So if you want to track it and see like who specifically has been on a lot of meetings and who hasn't, or just kind of track your numbers, because what you track grows. So it's really cool.
Alora?
Yeah, it's ALORA. It's amazing. I've been using it for like a week now.
My green brain loves you.
Nice, yeah. Hey, if you only have one teammate, you probably don't need that app, and you should probably focus on prospecting and getting on appointments. But if you've got 10 or 15 people, you can go ahead and grab the app. Like, I'm just to be honest, like, that's a great idea if you've got people to track. If you don't have anybody to track, you could do it in your head. Like, you could track yourself. It's not hard to figure out if you're on training. But